Well, they say winner takes all, and that's one way to describe Star India's win at the IPL bids. They have the rights to telecast the India Premier League for the next 5 years, and their global bid outstripped the combined bids of a lot of other companies, 24 other companies actually, over several sections. The man of the moment, Uday Shankar, is with us now on Bloomberg Quint to describe how really he pipped all of these other companies to the top post. Uday, thank you so much for speaking with us.
Thank you.
So initially, when the bids were being announced by BCCI, there was I wouldn't say confusion, but there were question marks about whether Star had got television rights or the entire piece of it. And then it turns out that your global bid was more than the combined bid that everyone else put in various categories. How did that come about? How did you come to a figure that high which managed to outstrip everyone?
Look, I think one thing that came out very clearly in this tender was that everybody had identified the areas of interest where they wanted to put all their resources. So, Sony had identified clearly television, and they put a very aggressive bid for TV. The digital players, including telecom companies that put in a bid, they went and put very aggressive bids behind the digital rights. And similarly, for the rest of the world rights, individually each market saw some really aggressive activity. We have a presence in each of these, and we have a robust television network through Star Sports. We have Hotstar, which is probably one of the most exciting platforms globally, and definitely the most exciting platform to have come out of India. And then we have distribution in the rest of the world, and we are also now at a stage of Hotstar's growth where we are seriously looking to take Hotstar global. So for us, it made sense to win all of these. And we decided that we were going to be very disciplined, and we didn't have the TV rights of IPL for 10 years.
Yeah.
We decided that we could live if we didn't win all of it. But our strategic agenda would be best served if we had all the rights, because then we would have the flexibility to use it in whichever manner that we wanted to use. So it was an aggressive call. It was also a very risky call, that either today we would have come back without anything.
Yeah.
But the luck smiled on us.
So all or nothing was the strategy, and even more so because of the rule that a complete edition of everyone else's bid, if it was more than your global bid, you might not have walked away with everything. So you were pretty close there with about 500 crores on top?
Yes, actually not might. It was very clear that the sum total of the leading bidders in each category had to be lower than the global consolidated bid. But we were ahead on the global consolidated value by about 500 crores, as you said. That's why we got it.
So, which brings me back to, what was the whole process of, just to understand the value of something like IPL in India, when you come to that figure of, I want to bid 16,300 odd crores, what is the thinking behind it, and what are the calculations behind it to know that this is how much it's worth?
Look, first of all, you don't say I want to pay 16,000 or whatever number of crores. You decide what is the minimum amount that gets you a comparative chance or shot at it. The number that came up with all the analysis was this much. Everybody is looking very shocked because of the historical value at which IPL was tendered 10 years ago.
Exactly.
But the world has changed since then. IPL has changed since then, and cricket has changed since then. 10 years ago, T20 was still an emerging format with no major tournament in that format. IPL was totally untested, untried. Nobody believed that actually there could be a city-based league of cricket that would play out every night and people would watch it. And hence, it got the value that it got. Today, T20 is the most exciting format. It has brought in new categories of viewers: women, children, non-traditional sports fans, all of whom have widened the universe of cricket lovers. You also see a situation where Star itself has been paying 43 crore per match for the BCCI bilateral rights, which also include test matches. Now just imagine if you have to pay 43 crore for a test match between a small cricketing nation and India, which goes on for 5 days and gets a fraction of the viewership that IPL gets, which one works out better? To pay 50 crores or so for an IPL game or 43 crores for a test match? That is where the difference is.
That's interesting, because you now pay more for an IPL game than for an international match.
Yes.
And that's based purely on the amount of viewership that it garners in India.
Two things. One, of course, it's based on the viewership. We pay more for this. The BCCI rights were tendered 6 years ago, almost 6 years ago. You should make the comparison when the next round of tendering for BCCI rights happened. And IPL, every single game delivers committed viewership. We have seen the power of IPL on Hotstar when for the last 3 years we had the digital rights, even though it's 5 minutes delayed. It creates huge amounts of excitement on digital as well.
Is there any data you can share with us in terms of how Hotstar does?
Digital data is in public domain, as you can see. We have all known, what it does. Frequently, we cross, 1 billion minutes consumed every day on IPL. Those are gigantic figures.
Okay, now let's come to, after you have bid this much money, what are the revenues you are expecting now from the IPL this year? How do you look at that scaling through?
IPL is already very well monetized. You have to see that, from the published data that we see in media reports, etc. Sony used to make 1,300 crores, had made 1,300 crores in advertising revenue last year. And we've seen the number for Hotstar. Those are really very exciting. And the beauty is that, if you see some of the digital giants, the value that they put for the digital rights tells you what's the level of excitement. And these are early days. The digital revenues are doubling year on year. So you want to take a position, I think, both in TV and digital. In the next 5 years, TV is not going anywhere. TV will continue to be very big and very robust, because TV in India is still the cheapest form of consuming content. And digital, as data prices are crashing, as more and more high quality broadband and Wi-Fi is becoming available, as more and more smartphones are coming in, and telecom companies are pushing more and more aggressive, exciting, innovative models for data consumption, I think digital will be really big. And on top of that, our agenda of taking Hotstar beyond India is very well served by that. So I think those are very distinct pools, and each one of them has its own possibilities. Some of them clearly give you very compelling financial logic. Some of them, in addition, also give you a strategic strength of building a business for the future.
Okay, and you keep talking about the digital push. Facebook, bid 3,900 crore rupees, and so clearly there's a thought that money can be made there. So coming to Hotstar specifically, what are the growth plans for Hotstar? Are you looking at it moving into more kind of content, and what is the push there? We
already have a really, really rich spectrum of content on Hotstar. We have a lot of sports, cricket of course, but beyond cricket as well. We have the English Premier League rights. We have a lot of other global football. We have all the other Indian domestic sports that we are involved with. Then we have, Star is also the biggest producer of original drama in Indian languages. All of the drama is available on Hotstar. And then we have some unique deals that we have, exclusive unique deals with big and high quality content providers like HBO, etc. Disney, Fox. Does
something like Hotstar generate revenue yet? Just to get a sense of, for a group like Star India, how big is Hotstar and where do you see it going?
Two things. First of all, we don't like to do anything in this company that does not generate revenue. We are a very, very business-focused company. Obviously, everything has different phases of maturity, and hence that is what determines also the revenue that they will generate. Our television entertainment business is in a very robust, mature phase and does very well. We have a good spread in multiple Indian languages, from North India to South India, from Bengal to Kerala. And we have built commanding leadership in many of those markets. That gives us the strength to go and invest in other businesses, whether it is sports, where 5 years ago when we started investing in sports, this is exactly what was said about us, that there was no way it was going to make any money. Now, the same is being said for Hotstar. Clearly, Hotstar is still less than 3 years old, but if you look at both in terms of consumption and also in terms of revenue, Hotstar is doing really, really very well. And we believe that the rate of scaling up will be very, very attractive in Hotstar. We need to keep building it up.
Okay, just one point about, in the context of the IPL bid once again, for the group, how big a proportion is sports in, terms of spends and revenues compared to entertainment? Has that push moved a bit, or is it still very entertainment heavy? Are there any ballpark percentages?
As I said, entertainment is in a very mature, steady state. It is the strength of our entertainment business that gives us the ability and the license to go and build new businesses, make new investments, and take new parts. If we didn't have the kind of entertainment core that we have, we would never have been able to get into sports and build it with such a disruptive, mindset, that we took strong positions on cricket, but we went way beyond cricket and we started developing and growing sports that nobody thought made any sense. Things like kabaddi, yes, hockey league, and the number of new leagues that we've been associated with is quite exceptional. All of that strength comes from our position in entertainment. So entertainment continues to be core, but it allows us to go and do new things, and now digital. And they all come together, because if we didn't have the access to entertainment content that we have, and if we didn't have the proprietary rights on all the Indian drama, we wouldn't have been able to, to go and do Hotstar.
Just one final question. Looking at, and it's a broader question really, looking at the amount of money Star India has now pumped into BCCI and via them into cricket, do you have an observation, comment, or anything to say about what needs to be done for cricket in the country and for millions of people who aspire to play and view and grow in the game?
You have to appreciate one thing. While there are many issues that have been in the media and in the public domain around BCCI,
yes,
all of that has sort of shrouded one big thing about the BCCI. It is also the agency that has created such a big, structure of Indian cricket. It has created a pipeline of such exciting talent. Look at the way India has been producing high-quality, world-class cricketers. All of this would have collapsed. I wouldn't pay the money that I am paying, and all the other people who turned up today to bid would not have paid a fraction of this value if they did not have faith in the continued robustness of Indian cricket. And that has been created, that whole pipeline has been created by the BCCI. I mean, just to give you one data point, BCCI has created more international quality day-night stadiums than probably the rest of the cricketing world put together. Cricket today is a attractive breeding ground for talent, because you can actually make a career in cricket, unlike any other sport. Until recently, when we started investing in some of these leagues like kabaddi, national players, gold medal winners, Asian champions had to go and find a day job after winning those fancy medals. We all know the story of that. BCCI has done a remarkable job of creating a solid pipeline of talent and making sure that it is worth their while. And that is why there is so much excitement around cricket. And as long as that pipeline of talent continues to flow, there won't be any dearth of people who will be willing to put money on cricket.
Well, and the BCCI hopefully is also trying to get its position back among all of those controversies that they have faced in the past.
Which they are, yeah.
Which they are. But thank you so much, Mr.
Thank
Uday
you.
Shankar, for speaking with Bloomberg Quint, and
Thank you.
best of luck.
Thank you.